I rallied around all my members as well as the other arms of the industry, and then we came up with an initiative to have an insurance policy to protect doctors, nurses, and frontline workers. And also, we were able to raise some money, and we donated, a large amount of money to the federal government in order to be able to contain the spread of COVID. And these efforts, attracted the recognition of the president and commander-in-chief. The insurance industry was especially mentioned and accorded due recognition because of this initiative. And that happened to be the first time in the history of insurance in Nigeria that the insurance industry will be recognized by the president and commander-in-chief of the major landmark laws.
As a forward-looking organization, the NIA produced the Insurance Industry Transformation Agenda, otherwise called the Insurance Industry Vision Document 2017 to 2027.
I went talking to a few of my friends. I regard them as a friendly 12, 12 CEOs, and we engaged KPMG, and we had a 10-year strategic plan, which was Vision 2027. And we needed to give it 10 years implementation.
The association has had 24 chairmen and 6 director generals. NIA chairman till date: Alhaji Aliko M. Mohammed, 1971 to 1977. Mr. J. H. Day, 1977 to 1979. Mr. Yinka Lijadu, 1979 to 1981. Professor Iruku J.O., 1981 to 1983. Mr. J.S. Bedi, 1983 to 1985. Mr. F.C. Nwokolo, 1985 to 1987. Mr. M.H. Black, 1987 to 1988. Mr. Ogunniyi, 1988 to 1990. Mr. Emo Odele, 1990 to 1992. Mr. Agbola Oke, 1992 to 1994. Mr. J.U. Ikindero, 1994 to 1996. Mr. A.A. Akintude, 1996 to 1998. Mr. B.O. Banjo, 1998 to 2000. Omosonya Akinyemi, 2000 to 2002. Godwin Alejeno, 2002 to 2004. Mr. Oye Hassan Odukale, MFR, 2004 to 2006. Mr. Dolakbo Balogun, MNI, 2006 to 2008. Mr. Wole Oshin, 2008 to 2010. Mr. O.O. Ladipo Ajayi, 2010 to 2012. Mr. Remi Oluwude, 2012 to 2014. Mr. G.U.S. Wiggle, 2014 to 2016. Mr. Eddie Efekoya, 2016 to 2018. Mr. Tokwe Smart, 2018 to 2020. And Mr. Ganiyu Musa, 2020 till date. Mr. Anthony Akinkumi Obakeye was the first honorary secretary and served from 1971 to 1977. Following his retirement, Mr. Vincent O.I. Nwaoloko was appointed as the first executive secretary of the association and served from July 1977 to 1979. Reverend Fumi Adeyemi, a renowned lawyer and administrator, was thereafter appointed the executive secretary in 1979 and served for 13 years before his retirement in 2003. In 2003, another lawyer and insurance expert, Mr. Ezekiel O. Chiejina, became the Director General of the association. Following his retirement in 2010, Mr. Olorundare S. Thomas, an accomplished insurance professional and administrator par excellence, was appointed as the 5th Director General of the association. He assumed duty on the 1st of May 2010. Mrs. Yetunde Ilori was appointed as the 6th Director General of the association in August 2017.
The excess stamp duty fee that members paid in 2007 when they were recapitalizing, the whole sum has now been refunded. This is unusual to have government refunding payment made to them already, but that was done, and it was done in 2 phases, and the 2 payments have been fully made. And I'm sure members are so glad about this. Apart from this, also on the platform or using the Instrument of Finance Act, 2 major achievements have been made. First one was the resolution of the Section 16 of CITA, which is considered primitive to the industry, but with the use of this medium, it has been resolved, and I can say that members are now smiling. The most recent one is, of course, getting the right definition of minimum required capital in place that has somewhat stalled the recapitalization exercise of the industry. But now that has been put in place, and we can now say we have proper and the correct definition of minimum required capital with which operators can base their business upon.
From UBA House, where the association started operations in 1971, the NIA has transversed to many locations before finally landing in its permanent site at 42 Saka Tinubu Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. They are Mandela's House, 96/102 Broad Street, Lagos, Cooperative Bank Building, Marina, Lagos, and St. Peter's House, 2 Ajele Street, Lagos.
I joined the NIA 18th of October 1977. We were only 4 as at there. Mr. V.O.I. Doko as the secretary, Mrs. Rita Ibebike as the confidential secretary, Mr. Odun Ayo Adio as the messenger, and my humble self. The level of subscription as at then was 4,000 naira. For me, NIA is not just an organization, but a family. A family where love, diligence, and honesty thrives.
In coming to the present office, credit must be given to Reverend Fumi Adeyemi, who bought the property under some very tight situations. In his 13 years as executive secretary, from 1989 to 2003, he took the association to another significant level and distinguished himself as a legal luminary and leader. The first initiative to give the building a facelift was made during the tenure of Mr. Ibidakpo Balogun, who made a personal donation of 500,000 naira towards the renovation of the building. However, it was not until 2015, during the tenure of Mr. Gus Wiggle as the 21st chairman of the association, that the council took the initiative to build a new secretariat for the association in response to its growing status in the insurance industry. A committee headed by Mr. Eddie Efekoha was subsequently set up to see the actualization of the project.
It's a statement. It's a statement that the insurance industry, have just made with that secretariat. I've not seen it as at today, but from the design we saw and from the architectural, and the architects and everything, the landscaping and, what we conceived it at that time, I think we've just made a statement to say, look, the insurance industry is solid and they can only just continue to do well and do better.
As you collect, when we were having our secretariat at number 3 Ajele Street, St. Peter's House, we occupied just a floor. NIA was there. I wasn't a member of the council at that time. But then they moved to Saka Tinubu, rented, and then later bought the property. To now say that bungalow, detached bungalow, is now a 7-story building. I've not seen it, but I know the people behind NIA have the type of taste that will signpost the type of building that will be there. So 7-story building is not a joke. And if they could achieve that, that means there's real seriousness in there.
I have not seen the new building, but I can imagine that I'm told that finishing, which are currently the chairman NIA.
I'm so glad that we've been able to pull this through. It's been a project that's been on the table through successive chairmen, and I'm really happy that the project has come to fruition, and we will be moving into that edifice, which speaks to the strength and to the image of the Nigerian insurance industry as a whole.
It's a sign of progress for a 50-year organization to move into our own premises in the course of that 50 years, and then to be able to pull it down and put a state-of-the-art building is responding to the dictates of the environment, doing something that is meet and proper for its age. You know, that shows sign of progress. We can't continue to be where we are and expect to be taken seriously. I'm very, very proud of the fact that we are able to achieve that within a very short time and without any noticeable stress.
But I recall when we were doing the foundation laying ceremony, we had already raised